Support WrestleTalk!
Donate on Patreon. The IWGP Heavyweight title changed hands. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight title changed hands. The IWGP Intercontinental title changed hands. I'll save myself some time. All the titles changed hands. I'm Ollie Davis. Press the thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and vote in the poll above my head to give your thoughts on the show, where you can choose from Best of Both Worlds, Great Per View, Thumbs in the Middle, Meh Per View, and Worst of Both Worlds, which it feels kind of wrong doing WWE ratings for New Japan, while I review WrestleKingdom 13. Starting your wrestling show with Will Ospreay versus Kota Ibushi is like Freddie Mercury telling Queen, nah, ditch the opening piano bit. Let's open Bohemian Rhapsody with It's feel like no, we will not let you go. You sort of begin at 11. Even Kota Ibushi's entrance was a high spot by jumping up out of the stage, and he kept on flipping when in the ring and throughout the match. The only thing stopping Ibushi's insane athleticism was Ospreay effectively killing him with an elbow. Fun fact, concussions don't exist in Japan, apparently. One way to make wrestling look super realistic, you see, is to actually just hit each other really, really hard. One particular Kinshasa tribute from Ibushi to Shinsuke Nakamura was so hard, Nakamura might be charged with conspiracy to murder. But the real genius of this match wasn't the slapping sounds or the high spots, it was the story. These two used their video game-like athleticism to tell a narrative that Ospreay had idolized Ibushi since he was 15. So last month, am I right? I feel so old. And now he has a chance to beat his hero at New Japan's biggest annual show. The two best storytelling moments for me were them both getting in a slap exchange with Kota in a Tree of Woe, like a really violent version of the Spider-Man kiss, and Ospreay flipping out of Ibushi's deadlift German suplex while Kota had no idea, which is a brilliant example of dramatic irony, the tension created when the audience knows something one of the characters doesn't. This was a sublime match as expected. Two of the best wrestlers in the world having the perfect blend of style and substance, with the very optimistic result of Ospreay going over strong, winning the Nether Openweight Championship, potentially foreshadowing his transition from the junior heavyweight division to the heavyweights. Good luck following that in the next 8 matches, everyone else. I've got to be honest, I was in an Ospreay versus Ibushi state of shock for the first 2/3 of the following 3-way for the junior heavyweight tag titles, so I can't give it a fair rating. But that's not to say this wasn't also a very good match. Sho and Yo are effortlessly cool, and Shingo Takagi is a brilliant addition to LIJ, dishing out some cringily stiff clotheslines. LIJ ended up pinning Suzuki-gun to become the new junior tag team champions, setting up a very good night for the faction. The next match was a complete change of pace, not just in style but in promotion, with Tomohiro Ishii defending his British heavyweight title for the UK's Revolution Pro promotion. As Zack Sabre Jr.'s badly translated entrance video promised, he is Submission Master, and submissions we got, with a perfect blend of Sabre grinding down Ishii in a number of different stretches, and Tomohiro having his trademark Stone Pitbull no-sell comebacks. Because the problem with Zack's submission strategy is that Ishii has no joints to manipulate, because he's just one slab of human granite. Look at him, he hasn't got a neck. But it wasn't enough in the end of a fantastic match, when Sabre locked in his new submission finisher and Ishii, the man whose character is based on no-sell spots, did the ultimate sell. He verbally submitted, putting Sabre over strong, continuing Zack's momentum into 2019. All the heavyweight tag title build might have been around the Bullet Club claiming they're good guys now, and the Young Bucks possibly wrestling their last match in New Japan. But I couldn't take my eyes off Sanada's hair, who's somehow gone full Amish with both the beard on his chin and his head. Changing the type of match yet again, the Guerrillas of Destiny almost wrestled a comedy narrative here, doing their best to be baby faces and stopping each other from cheating. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. But Tama Tonga is such a genuinely intimidating psychopath character, I don't think it's the best use of him. The Bucks, as always, were utterly captivating to watch, but this time it was bittersweet. They feel like such a big part of New Japan's tag division, and even though I'm very excited for AEW, it'll be a deep loss if they leave completely. Continuing the title change theme, it was LIJ who got the win, meaning another set of tag belts for the faction. The Bucks took the pin, maybe doing the honors on their way out. In the first few minutes of the US title match, Cody had managed to miss an illegal championship belt shot, feigned a knee injury, and got his wife Brandi to protect him from Juice Robinson. I think Cody's in heel mode at the moment. The villainous tactics continued when Brandi hit a bionic shoulder spear on Juice behind the referee's back. Tiger Hattori ejected her from ringside, but it didn't stop him from looking pretty useless, especially when Cody started whipping Juice with his weight belt in clear sight to no penalty. After 7 minutes of heel shenanigans, Juice hit 2 Pulp Frictions for the win, potentially another All Elite Wrestling talent taking the fall on their way out of New Japan. And if that wasn't enough of a hint, Cody was wearing the colors of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the team belonging to AEW's Khan Family Funders. Oh my god, what is that thing? Kill it, kill it! Oh my god! Thankfully, a man dressed as Back to the Future's Doc Brown did, disintegrating the Nightmare Child into smoke, allowing junior heavyweight champion KUSHIDA to make his entrance and lose his title to Taiji Ishimori in a very solid match. A potential sign that KUSHIDA could be on his way to WWE. While both are extraordinary wrestlers, with KUSHIDA being one of the slickest in the world, this didn't live up to the junior heavyweight division's recent standards, set by the likes of KUSHIDA, Will Ospreay and Hiromu Takahashi. Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada was the only match on the entire card without a championship at stake, which is both a testament to the blood feud between the two and that New Japan might have too many titles. Weirdly, Okada revealing he was wearing trunks instead of his usual tights beneath his robe got one of the loudest babyface pops of the night. Those legs just go on for days. White and Gado's heel act is still a work in progress though. Many aren't sold on Switchblade being the leader of the Bullet Club and getting a second consecutive high-profile WrestleKingdom match just a year into his debut. But there were the exact same criticisms when Kenny Omega was made the Bullet Club leader in January 2016. With some of New Japan's top wrestlers potentially leaving for AEW or WWE, they need to make new stars. And while I still think White has a way to go, I also very much trust in New Japan's head booker Gado, even though he's such a dastardly heel these days. Gado's attempted interference backfired twice, so White's eventual win was actually relatively clean. Another sign New Japan see a lot of potential in him. But as good as the match was, this wasn't up to Okada's usual ridiculously high Wrestle Kingdom standard. There was no such problem with Tetsuya Naito versus Chris Jericho in a no DQ match for the Intercontinental Championship though, as they combined to put on the exact kind of excellent wild brawl you would hope for, with spots including Naito spitting in Jericho's face, a pile driver on the entrance ramp, and Jericho brutally spike DDTing Naito on the commentary table, which, because it's a Japanese commentary table, no sold it completely and didn't break. And the drama leveled up significantly at the end, with a series of incredible believable near falls, kicking out of Destinos and code breakers, but it was Naito using the exposed turnbuckle set up right at the start of the match that was the difference maker. A superb bout, and one that sets up an intriguing story going forward, with all 5 members of LIJ now holding New Japan gold. But as great as Jericho versus Naito and Ibushi versus Ospreay were, the main event of Hiroshi Tanahashi beating Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship was something else. The 2018 comeback story of Tanahashi, the Omega narrative being based around 2 men's conflicting philosophies of wrestling, and the added blood feud of them just hating each other. This match felt so much bigger than the title they were fighting over, and all of that was perfectly communicated through their physical action. Disrespectfully slapping each other instead of punching, Omega dismissively kicking Tanahashi on the floor, and the wonderful set piece of Hiroshi trying to beat Kenny at his own hardcore game, but crashing and burning through a table outside from a missed high fly flow. They added another wrinkle to the drama too, with Omega tweaking his right knee early on, which Tanahashi targeted throughout the match. 40 minutes of intense action and storytelling later, it was Hiroshi's philosophy that won out, completing his comeback story by reversing the one-winged angel and hitting the high fly flow. An epic, brilliant match, and with Omega losing, a possible clue that AEW might have their next signee. This was an excellent wrestling pay-per-view which flew by, thanks to a shorter than usual duration and the varied style of the matches, and there were at least 4 incredible standouts, with Ospreay versus Ibushi, Sabre Jr. versus Ishii, Jericho versus Naito, and Tanahashi versus Omega. The other 5 bouts never really got a chance to shine though, making the entire show's match quality not as deep deep as the last several years. Still though, WrestleKingdom 13 is the best of both worlds. And Omega and Jericho aren't the only wrestlers possibly off to AEW, as a massive ex-WWE Universal Champion has also been linked to the new promotion. Find out who by clicking the video on screen now. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.